After winning the Champions League with Spurs, I couldn't quite decide what team to do to finish off the beta period with. So I'm letting the wheel decide. First off, the league, and we end with La Liga. So our team is going to be one of these 20 clubs. And the wheel will now choose our destiny for the remainder of the beta, and that club is Getafe.
Oh, let's go! That's class!
So here we go, we are now manager of your new favourite Spanish team with players like Carlos Alenia, Meunier and Porto.
Who?
The board wants us to play attacking football whilst finishing mid-table, and we have no money to improve this team. Please just subscribe. And we will bring the wheel back to decide transfers in the future too, when we actually get money. So for now, we got to put up with what we already have at the club. And a 4-2-3-1 is our base tactic to start off with, and hopefully we evolve it as we go along. But who is going to become our hero of this side? I really like the look of both of our centre midfielders. One is very much a ball winner and the other is a playmaker. And of course, Carlos Alenia, former Barcelona Youth Academy product, is incredibly talented in the centre midfield or in that number 10 role. The league preview sits us in 12th place, so we should be safe from relegation, but a top half finish I would definitely consider a success. And we got a really tricky start to the season too, with Barcelona as our first game, followed by Villarreal and Sevilla. And with Carlos Alenia's 2 to 4 week injury, I decided to change the tactic to a much more defensive 4-3-3 for the time being, using a halfback role, wasting time taking off counter press and going for a mid block and dropping the defensive line while trying to trap the opponent on the outside and stopping the crosses. So we lined up our first game of the season against Barcelona with a lot of optimism. I'm just kidding, I'd be happy if we just kept Barcelona down to less than double figures. Unless we pull off the biggest ever upset. Not quite. Lewandowski played a 1-2 and scored in the 10th minute, although we did keep them quiet and only conceded a second in injury time from a world-class free kick. It's good to see the board and the supporters have faith in the team for the next match. To be fair though, they were right. With Alenia back from injury, we go back to the 4-2-3-1 and try to bring something out of this match. But 7 minutes in and Alenia broke his toe and got taken off. And Sevilla scored the only goal of the game and we take 3 straight defeats. Even our first goal of the season against Mallorca was an own goal and we couldn't even win that game either. We are in deep trouble already. We can't even get a loan signing done because of the lack of funds. And after a 3-0 loss to Bilbao, we had a very bleak first 5 matches.
Piss off. Everything's going wrong. Everything's going wrong.
Following that, we lost 2-1 to Almeria from a 91st minute goal. We took the lead finally in the Celta Vigo game through Sione on the 14th minute. It didn't last too long though, when Vigo scored in the 36th minute from Palencia's header, and in the 71st minute when the same man stole all the points from us. And that makes it just 1 point from 7 matches. And with our job now deemed as insecure with very little to be positive about, I decided to try and give the Liverpool low block tactic a try from the Liverpool rebuild we did last Monday. And I'll leave that video on the end screen of this, so go check it out. I'm just going to cut to the chase. We lost these next 4 matches. And we inevitably got sacked. And that did not go to plan, did it? So I guess we go back to the wheel and put the remaining 4 leagues in to see who are going to manage this time. And the winner is the Premier League. And I'm going to take out Liverpool and Spurs from the equation because we've already done them during the beta period. We don't want to see that again. So once again, we spin the wheel. We don't want anyone too good, but hopefully somebody better than Getafe. Wolves! That shouldn't be too bad, as long as we ignore the real life table. So we are now manager of Portugal. And this is the tactic I'm going to go for. A 4-1-4-1 shape with a centre midfield on attack to help the striker. A DM role perfect for Ruben Neves, complete forward up front and a balanced mentality, shorter passing, slower tempo. We are going to be looking for possession-based football. Counter press is on but not counter attack. Higher press and higher defensive line. And despite creating a lot of chances, with this tactic we couldn't score and drew the first game of the season 0-0. Apparently in this video I absolutely suck at creating tactics. We still haven't scored a goal yet in 3 games. So I made some more changes and I tried to give the striker another option to help score some goals and bring in my favourite role of FM23 so far, the Segundo Volante. Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but I just can't win a game in this video. Even in the derby against Villa we can't score. At least they didn't either though. And oh my god, we literally cannot score a goal. Finally. Jimenez scores from Traore's assist against Forest at home, and he gets one from the spot and gives us our first win of the season. That puts us actually in 14th place, but look at the goals. Salah has 12 and Haaland has 10. Artur has 6. As a team ourselves, we only have scored 6.
If I speak, I am in big trouble.
But we have the most difficult October ever, because nobody likes playing at Selhurst Park. I'm also fully aware that we're at the same stage of the season now where we got sacked from Getafe. But we did beat Liverpool 1-0, as well as beating Manchester City 1-0. And we went to Selhurst Park, bagging a third win of the month from a Jimenez opener and a Nelson Semedo run, and made it 2-0. Along with a 1-1 draw against Newcastle, and that is an extremely good month. Maybe we're learning how to actually play this tactic properly now. We jump up to 11th place in the league and we're feeling good. A positive in the following game is that we created loads of chances. The negative was that we lost 4-0 to Brighton. We then faced Chelsea, who scored first through Raheem Sterling, but when former Chelsea striker Diego Costa came off the bench, you just knew he was going to score, and he did, celebrating like mad. World Cup time, and once again it spurts out a random final between Poland and Croatia, won 3-1 by Croatia. But our return to the Premier League football was disappointing when we lost 2-1 to Everton, and then got defeated by Leeds 1-0. Somehow though, we are still in 12th place despite no win in 4, and I'm so confused whether we are good or not. And a lot of our players in this January window are wanted, and we only have £7 million already in the bank to make a sign-in. I'm doubling down on the possession-based attack and selecting hold shape. I've also changed some positions.
My eyes are bleached.
Because I really don't think we are creating enough chances to win games, and that's due to the lack of options in the final third. Tottenham have come in for Traore, and I negotiated by doubling the price, for which they actually accepted. £20 million. Bournemouth game, 20 shots on goal, 0-0 draw. And with Neves' contract as well as Traore's running out this summer, I accepted a £17 million bid with 10 million add-ons from Manchester United. And Traore left the club, money in the bank, instead of losing him for free. I've actually changed the tactic again, adding an extra centre-back instead of the right midfielder and pushed Semedo further forward. And to say it worked would be an understatement. We've been lacking goals, and yet I know we are against Forest, but we scored 4 goals in the first 12 minutes, including Nunez's rocket from outside the box. Wonderful start to the game. But then we did concede 3, but it still felt good. Neves has left, and it is a big loss, but we would have got nothing for him in the summer, so £27 million is a big amount to miss out on. I had to accept it. I've also just realised that Manchester United is in 15th position. How has that happened? Thomas Tuchel is in charge now, and Erik ten Hag was sacked back in October, which tells me Tuchel also isn't doing very well. Well, the goals lasted long. 0-0 again. But I have signed 2 players. First off, we have Gagliardini, who basically fills the defensive midfielder role that Neves has left from Inter Milan, and he's pretty good at everything really. And he only cost us 725k as well. Bargain. And we dipped back into the Serie A and bought Caleb Okoli from Atalanta at centre-back. Seeing as we've now gone for the 3 at the back, we needed more bodies in those positions. He's young and good already, but he did cost us 26 million, so he had to be good, to be honest. Now, we do have £15 million left to improve this team and playing Liverpool next, so where would you say we need strengthening? Tell me in the comments section, kiss that subscribe, and if the next episode is out, I'll pop it up on the screen. The wheel is going to choose our tactic and potentially what we're going to be signing next.